What is up, skate rats? So we're going to be doing some ledge combos in today's video. That's separate between two sessions, two different tricks we learned. But before we get to that, I want to talk about that skate event I was a part of, the Kwizard, skate and hang demo type thing. Honestly, it was a really good success. But I kind of just want to talk about how the day went, because boy, did it have ups and downs throughout it. So my day started at 6 in the morning, and there was a meetup spot where I was going to give some people some rides, and nobody showed up. They decided they didn't want to wake up early, plus it was like 5 degrees outside, and I was kind of stuck sitting there waiting for 30 minutes. So I was kind of pissed off. And when the owner did finally show up, because he was late as well, which, nothing against Keith, just, he was late and I was upset. He said, why don't you ride down with me? There's no reason for us to bring two vans. But because I was upset, I was willing to drive alone. And I was like, no, I'm just going to go. And when I turn around, I can see that my van is just dumping gas. I had blown a fuel line. And all I could do was laugh at the idea that I guess it's a good thing no one rode down with me. So from there, we finally get down to the event. We're the first two people there. We get a little tour of the park and that. And this is where the realization of something kind of set in. I was able to skate 4 12-hour days in a row when I was at Woodward. But this is the winter, and this is a really cold winter for us in Pennsylvania. So outside, the highest the temperature got was about 15 degrees midday. The warmest it got in the skate park in this basement warehouse was in the 20s. So for probably the first 3 hours, I was pretty good. But at that point, I was winded, and I took a little bit of a break, and my right knee just locked up. And it wasn't even the tendon issue that I've been dealing with. My leg's back to about 80%. Just the cold physically locked my joint, which has never happened before. And it was really difficult to kind of move around, but you had to move around to be able to stay warm. So I kind of ended up just setting my board down around maybe the 4-hour mark and saying that I can't skate anymore, I'm in too much pain, I'm just going to keep walking. So in my mind, setting my board down meant that I lost the tool to bond with these people participating in this event. I'm there to promote the business and promote the boards and inspire kids and people and stuff like that. That's my portion of my job. And in my mind, I had just had to set down the tool to do that. And I was really bummed out. So I walked around and made maybe 2 or 3 laps around the park, kind of just like feeling sorry for myself a little bit. And I ended up in the little skate shop they had. And when I walked in, there was like 5 dudes playing with a handboard. And I'm like, no shit. So I kind of like organically joined the conversation. They tell me that they used to own hand skateboards. None of them knew who I was, but, in an organic way, not trying to be showboaty at all. It was like, well, I rode for hand skate for 7 years. So they threw the board at me and they were like, do a demo. So I put a demo on for these 5 guys. I ended up talking to them for about 45 minutes. And in my mind, I didn't think that would become the tool to bond with all these people. So I took a few more laps around the park, and maybe an hour later, I'm back in the skate shop again, and it's a new group of guys. And they're like, hey, are you the one who rode for hand skate? Hey, come over here, do a demo. They weren't using the word demo, but come over here and show us what you can do. So I probably did that 3 or 4 times for maybe 20 people total, 25 people, and it was amazing. From there, we got talking about skating because, we advertised as much as we could, but these people didn't really know who the team was out of the 100+ people in the park. So from there, it was like the owner walks in and goes, if he rode for handskate, but he also rides for Kwizard. So then they threw my video part up on the TV and they watched my video part and stuff like that. And the event just went really good. The last thing I want to touch on, because once again, it was a bad thing, but it turned into a good thing, sort of, is I bought food for the event. So the event was long, and I was like, you know what, how could I give back to the community in some way? Well, the owner of Kwizard already kind of paid for this whole event. You know what, let me buy pizza. Pizza's cheap, I have no issue doing that. So I bought 30 trays of pizza, and when I left to go pick it up, I did a quick head count, just because if we do this again, I'm trying to figure out, did I buy too much? Did I buy too little? Was it the right time? Because we were aiming to do it at 6 o'clock around like dinner. And I took a head count. There was about 40 people in the building. And when I leave to go get it, I grab it, I come back. It took less than 20 minutes to do that. And when I came back, there was only about 12 people left in the building, which was kind of a bummer. And as I'm unloading all the stuff, I'm like, man, I really hope this doesn't go to waste. I don't know what I'm going to do with all this pizza. But my mood immediately changed again, because I'll tell you, those 12 kids, those 12 teenagers, they were the most grateful like teenagers I've ever been with. Like they came up, they shook my hand, a couple of them hugged me, you know, they thanked me, they thanked Kwizard. They were just so grateful for this whole event being thrown. And we were able to really build that, bond between things. So their skate shop now carries those boards, and we were able to really do something good for the community that a lot of people had a ton of fun with, even though I only got to skate for maybe 4 hours, maybe 4.5. And even towards the last hour, hour and a half, I was doing like board slide taps on ledges. That was the extent of what I could really do. So the next event, I really want to try to make sure that my legs can hold out, at least for a little bit longer. But I'm also going to bring handboarding stuff with me because I think that will just be awesome to actually have boards I like and bring my rails and bring some obstacles and kind of push that. But I just wanted to talk about that, talk about the event. Now let's get into the actual video. So today we are learning ledge combo tricks. So recently I was watching Zach Doling, who is one of the best skaters with no imagination. And I'm not trying to be mean or rude. He is insanely talented. I can front crook. There is no way in hell. He pops out of front crook twice as high as the obstacle. It is insane how good he is. But when people pitch him other ideas, like basic ideas, hey Zach, have you ever done board slide to 50? He gets excited because it seems like he doesn't have that level of imagination. And because he has such an insane skill, he's able to do insane things. So I was watching Dan Corrigan just pitch him ideas. Hey Zach, have you ever done crook to backsmith? Hey Zach, have you ever done crook to feeble? Crook to hurricane? And like within 1 to 3 tries, Zach's doing all these. And it kind of just got me thinking, like, what combo tricks could I do? I've done board slides to 50s. I've done 50s to lip slides, 50s to board slides. What else could I do? And the two that popped into my head immediately as like a medium difficulty trick was 5-0 to front board and then fakey nose grind to switch front board. So those were like the first 2 things that popped in my head. So they're 2 different sessions because I just didn't have enough time to do it all in one. But check out the battle, and then we're going to come back and I'll talk about what I learned. When it comes to what did I learn, because I can do all 4 of these tricks individually, which if you guys are going to do combo tricks, make sure you can do all 4 tricks individually, or at least you have enough control to wrangle them a little bit. But the one tip that I'll say I had to learn is, now I have the angle iron lip. This is why tricks like crook back lip, I've tried it before on this ledge, doesn't really work for me because I'm such a heavy press on my heel that when I try to scoop it, it just gets caught on that lip. But like toe side swipes for some reason kind of work. So like front crook to front lip has been on my list for a while. But these 2 tricks popped into my head because I was like, you know what? I bet you I could just swipe right over it, which is the truth. So what's the one tip that I can give you guys that I had learned is if you are fully stood up, like dragging, it is a lot easier to slide into the combo. It's a lot easier to slide into the board slides, but there's a large distance you're falling down, so you're gonna lose a lot of that momentum. Whereas if you're balanced, it is right there, and you're able to keep a lot more of that forward momentum. And this is why I slid a little bit on the switch front board, and I didn't really slide at all on the regular front board. It's just because the heights of them. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you have any other questions about these tricks, or if you have another combo you'd like to throw a suggestion out for, let me know. But as always, guys, thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And I'll keep you guys updated if we're going to do another event.